Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's James, or Mr. Fury the Great here, and it only took 2 comments, so that just shows the value in commenting on the video and letting me know how bad and terrible my previous video was, and I'm now striving to improve that greatly. So you'll now be doing the advanced Hulk guide, and we'll start that with going to the practice range and mentioning some things I forgot to mention, so let's get into it. Okay, so my apologies again for the previous guide kind of being very surface level. It said the actual only Hulk guide you ever need, and I was being very incorrect when I said that. So let's get into it. The best way to get this started, I'm going to start with banner form, right? I'm going to break down everything you need to know in banner form. And sadly, because of the practice range, I don't think I can actually get to banner form and like take damage unless I stood in front of the bot and let him demech me. So whenever you're in banner form, the only thing you have is your gamma pistol, right? And your grenade. The grenade will actually push you back and push back allies, and it will give you like an 8% ult charge. Each headshot will also give you 8% ult charge, okay? So please be aware of this. My favorite thing ever, by the way, is losing your Hulk in the middle of a fight and going against someone like a Groot, where once you go back at it, let's say I'm starting back as banner, I was in Hulk, I'm now banner, shooting this guy in the head, and then going back into Hulk. Throwing your grenade once you get to 80%, going back into Hulk, right? That is the bread and butter of what you should be doing when you're in banner. And please, when you're in banner, always try to be aggressive with it. Walk forward. It's better to walk forward unless your team isn't with you, because getting some headshots, you go back into Hulk very quickly. So now when you're in Hulk, some things I really forgot to mention, and that's my apologies as well, because I wasn't fully aware of this, if it was actually true. So you will see whenever I am in this range, Hulk is highlighting, right? Hulk is not highlighted. Hulk is highlighted. What does that mean? That means that my left mouse is going to hit that. This is a pretty big range, by the way. But if I'm looking at him, my left mouse is going to hit. Okay? Not in range. In range. So whenever you see this red highlight on an enemy that you're targeting, that is ideal, because you'll sometimes be in a situation where you're getting kills much further than you would think or even possible with your left click. Okay? So just be aware of that always happening. And then, you know, beat up on the target, jump out. I did talk a little bit about the jumping, but I didn't really talk about like how you should use the jump and other ways to manipulate that jump. You can actually manipulate the jump by doing a longer hold, short hop, right? By looking down. It's really dependent on where your camera is pointing. Looking up, you're going to go higher in the air, right? If you're looking down, you're going to stay lower to the ground, right? That's important to know, because sometimes when you're in rooms with ceilings, you don't want to waste your time and hit that ceiling, right? So sometimes you want to just look down, hit a jump, and then you can get like a cool angle on something. We're going to break down a few of my games in just like some moments that I feel like are important. So let's get into that. And if there's anything else that you'd like to know from Hulk, or just anything about the game, please let me know in the comments. I will try my best to break it down for you in the text, but if the text is limited, please check out my live stream. I stream quite often at twitch.tv Mr. Fury the Great. Please tune into the stream, ask me your questions. It's so easy to answer them there. And then once you're there as well, feel free to just at me whenever I'm going live, ask me those questions, and I can even hop in a voice chat if it's easier to gather that understanding. So let's move into some gameplay. I'm going to go over like 1 or 2 games, maybe just one example of a longer game and like what I was thinking and why I was doing each thing. So then you guys get an easier and better breakdown, because I kind of failed to do that in the previous video. So we're going to talk a little bit before that about some of the matchups, okay? So I'm going to go to the main menu here. I don't have the examples for each matchup, but I'm just going to go through the heroes and just tell you who you should be looking out for when you're on Hulk. So when you're playing banner, you're not this end-all be-all. This character gets banned a lot, but you're not like this invincible character. There's a lot of counters to this guy. The first one I'm seeing on this first page here is Groot. Groot is a menace to Hulk, but Hulk can exist in the matchup. You just have to be very aware of his walls when they are going down. Every time you hear him say, "I am Groot," assume there's a wall behind you and try to jump over it, okay? Very similar to if you're played any movement character like Winston, Doomfist, against a Mei in Overwatch, you've been used to this play pattern. Try to avoid the walls at all times. They will win their team the game. Something else to be aware of is you will have Iron Mans on your team if you're playing Hulk that are sometimes not going to be doing the best. So try your best to let them know that no matter what's going to happen, you're going to be playing banner. Hey man, like if you want to switch, I can help you out. And also Hulk is really good at dealing with those flyers, so Iron Man isn't really like a bad matchup for Hulk. So in the Hulk mirror matchup, Hulk can really deal with that Iron Man himself. Hawkeye used to be a bit of a problem, but because of Hawkeye's nerf, he's not as problematic, but Hawkeye can do some big damage to Hulk, so be aware of that. Also, Hela with her stuns and her mobility can be quite annoying. Jeff Jeff's ultimate is quite good for grabbing Hulk whenever he's transforming, so just be aware of that. Some other things is like any support with CC, like Luna, Snow, like Mantis, these supports are kind of annoying. Try to make sure you're noticing these cooldowns are down before you go in. It's not going to happen all the time, but just try to be your best. Try to do your best to be aware, right? In the tank matchups against Magneto and Strange, you kind of eat them because their shields don't block your melee damage. But the one tank that I dread to play against is Penny Parker, because Penny Parker actually denies your whole game plan. Every time you dive in, she can stun you. She can stop you from doing all your damage, getting your cooldowns out, even popping your bubble and then stunning you and their team and resulting in a free kill. She can be quite problematic. Also, Namor is quite good against Hulk. Please be aware of that. Squirrel Girl as well. Just all these characters with like CC or abilities to handle the dive are quite annoying for Hulk. And then the last to mention here is Winter Soldier. You have to be on hook control. Always watch his hook. And you might have noticed, oh, why didn't you mention Wolverine or Storm? Wolverine is banned, but you actually can counter Wolverine very easily by just playing your bubble around this character. So let's go in. I'm going to go to my history here. You can see my match history. I have a bunch of games. We're going to find one here that's a victory. And I think this one was quite good where I played Hulk the whole game. Let's see. Heroes used Hulk. There we go. We're going to get into this. So I'm going to break this down the entire game. This is going to be a little bit of a longer form video, but just to break down the entire game so you're all aware of what I was thinking, where my headspace was at. So in the pick ban phase, I'm always trying to hover banner, right? This is in Diamond Plus. So if you're not into these ranks yet, you don't have to worry about this part of the game, but it's also important to be aware of what's being banned at the higher ranks. So as you can see, the enemy's banning Punisher here. We're banning Luna Snow. Pretty normal bans. People ban Punisher because the infinite ammo with Rocket is quite good, and Punisher's ultimate really does a lot of damage against supports, so support players don't like that, right? Okay, so we are now going to the second ban, and what we actually did here is said we got Luna, and then we got Banner, is what we said. And then someone said for a Cloak and Dagger ban, I said I'm down for that actually. They're probably going to ban Wolverine anyway, and then I think we ended up banning Wolverine as well, which is okay. Sometimes you mirror each other's bans, that's okay, but a lot of these GM games, they like to ban the supports, get it out of there. It makes the game a little bit more playable for everyone involved. So we lock in our characters here. Nothing really much to show here, and then we'll go ahead here. So you're going to see at the start of the game, I'm already in this window gathering info, okay? Let's pause this really quick. Okay, so I always on this map, if I'm on attack, I jump up here just to see any information. Hey, they have a Hulk. I hear the Hulk. I think that's all the info I had was they have a Hulk and a Groot is what I think the only info I gathered here. But it's okay. Just always try to make sure that you're aware of the map you're playing on. You can go to positions like that and be quite helpful for your team. So you can see I'm immediately jumping onto the cart, and then I'm going to high ground to look around and scout the team. I bubble when I land, try to block that damage, and then as you can see, I'm against Groot, immediately jump backwards. Holding my jump here, I'm looking for a play. I'm noticing my Groot is getting bullied, and I'm also watching the enemy Hulk, making sure that he doesn't dive my backline. Going in, bubbling, jumping back out. Trying to keep the cart moving, stunning the Hulk, but then noticing here that we're kind of losing the fight, but I want to keep the ground, so that's kind of why I'm standing here and getting healed. And then I notice, okay, we are outnumbered. We need to wait for our other tank, or we're going to get doomed. And then my out of Warlock actually gets a big pick here. So I get to walk up, and I'm still noticing that my health bar is still chunking because they actually have quite a good comp against me. They actually have the Winter Soldier that I mentioned. They actually also have Loki and Cloak and Dagger, so they're going to have the mirrored support ults, which is really hard to play against. And speaking of that, here comes the first one, the Loki Cloak and Dagger ult. And what am I to do here except jump around, try to stun him, try to shield my team, and then we get wiped. So they use 2 ultimates there, which is okay. That's okay. We're at the start of the game. This is a no tilt zone. This is where you don't tilt. This is where you just tell your team, okay, guys, let's regroup. Let's reassess. Let's get a good fight in here.
To get this right this time.
I think if I remember correctly in this game, everyone was flaming the Warlock, but I think our Warlock player was quite good, actually. Warlock might not always be the best pick, but Warlock players are sometimes really good, and they're quite surprising. So I noticed this guy's up here, so what do? I just go and deal with it. I'm done with your shit, kill him, get him out of here. Sometimes you just gotta do it yourself. That's why we play Hulk, right? So I noticed their support ult, my Fantastic's ulting as well, we're just creating pressure. I'm bubbling and trying to deal with the stones, and then I get low HP, and that's when I ult, okay? So just be aware that you don't always have to ult at the perfect time. Sometimes it can just be when you're low HP and you want to survive. I didn't think my supports were going to heal me. I'm ulting. Give me instant 1500 HP. Thank you. So here we are. We're just diving into the enemy, disrupting, knocking them up, trying to get as much kills as possible. I end up getting 3 kills during this ultimate, which is really good. And then I get to stun this guy, and which was a quite crazy interaction. Let's just rewind that quite quick. Okay, so Star-Lord ults here, and I stunned the Winter Soldier, right? So we got kind of lucky here, where I can just pull him out of the air instantly, kill him, and then my Fantastic goes in there and gets the rest of the job done. So you're gonna see me here. I'm waiting. I'm on the cart. You're gonna see me look at the ground and shift myself, right? Pushing myself in the air, but also giving me ult charge. I'm always trying to build back that, get back to Hulk form as quick as possible. I don't see this Hulk here because I'm tunnel visioned here, but he comes in and then I hit both myself and him, giving me 20% about, and then getting back into Hulk pretty quickly. Immediately jumping into Hulk, trying to shield an ally. I went to grab the Groot out of the air there, but missed. But we're just trying to fight on the point and disrupt. We want to just fight on the point, fight on the point. I got a really good bubble where I blocked the Groot ult. It's kind of lucky. That happens a lot. Hey, we take this. The Armed and Dangerous comes out. There's a support alone in the background. Keep beating up the support. And what I'm trying to do here is actually make space. I want the Hulk to get off of the cart, right? But he ends up walking back on, which is okay. We still have 4 meters left. He demax, which he actually gets off the cart. We kill him, and then we just have to kill the Star-Lord, and we get the cart. So in this little squabble, there's been a lot that's gone on, right? Like these first couple of fights. But the best thing you want to try to understand is that I am doing my best to make space for my team, but also making sure that I'm disrupting the enemy. You're like a mix of a dive character and a frontline tank. So try your best to do that. If there's anything that you want to emulate from my gameplay, it would just be a nuisance to the enemy, right? Your allies can get annoyed, but dying on Hulk is usually not that bad because you simply have faster mobility than other characters. You can get back to the fight a lot sooner than others will. So by doing that, it's sometimes just better to take a death, run back in. I remember this part of the game, we were actually getting quite clapped, where they end up getting some really good ults. I try to disrupt the backline here. I get lucky with some kills. I'm fighting a Star-Lord here. That's something as well I didn't get to mention in my previous video, and I wanted to mention that here. Okay, so I go in here as Monster Hulk. There is a combo with Monster Hulk when if you left click and spam Q. Spam Q, you're gonna see this, right? So I'm left clicking. The Star-Lord's right here. I jump on him, I left click him into the air, and I'm spamming Q. What it does is it then grabs him. He's in your range. I grab him, slam on the ground, kill him, right? I get that damage. I get the damage reduction. That ends up being a very positive trade for us. You want those fights to happen. It's not always going to happen, though. So here I am, trying to get the re-Hulk. Doesn't happen. It's all good, though. We take a death. Deaths happen. So let's fast forward because we have a little bit of a stalemate here where we're kind of stuck on this point. We don't really know what to do. We finally get the cart pushing up here. And here's one thing that I'm always trying to do. And I wanted to show this because I'm also missing this jump here. I'm jumping at the flying character and missing. Sometimes it's just worth it. Jump at that motherfucker. Jump up in the air as high as you can and get him out of the air. That's all you have to do. Even if it's just the pressure, sometimes that damage dump can help you enough. Here I am just trying to beat up this Winter Soldier. He's out of position. Trying to mirror the Hulk. I notice someone high ground. Go for that. Miss the jump. Jump back on the cart. Go back onto the high ground. Stun this guy. Go for the kill. Get the kill there. Keep moving. Keep moving. So here I am just diving on a Groot. We're beating him up. But then the Loki stones drop down. You can't really kill him with the Loki stones. I'm trying my best to kill Loki stones, but it doesn't really happen. Stun the Groot, jump away. Typical gameplay pattern. So they end up going to an Iron Man. I say, fuck that. Immediately jump for the Iron Man, right? Because I don't want this guy to be my team, so I need to deal with him. Luckily, my Star-Lord finishes the job for me. And here I am trying to bubble my team, stun the Winter Soldier so he doesn't get the resets. Yeah, luckily enough, he doesn't get the resets. And then here I am just trying to help. My Adam Warlock was screaming, "Help me!" So that's me trying to jump to him, not getting there in time, and then just the resulting loss of a fight. So sometimes this just happens where you're in a winning game state, and even though everything feels like it's going great, you're not going to get the cart pushed as far. But then I'm able to actually monster roll again and get 3 big kills, right? Grab the group, delay some more time, and then you're going to see something I do here. Right when I get out of the Hulk form, I stun him, I run away. That's 2 more seconds of him being out of the game. We get the Hulk kill, jump right back on his ass, right? Just being a nuisance. I'm trying to annoy him more than I'm trying to have fun, if that makes sense. Annoy the enemy team, that's the fun you have. So we get a Warlock res here. Everyone's trying to get back into the fight, but we don't really have, I think, the firepower here, so it just becomes like a pretty hard fight, which sometimes this happens. And I want you to be aware because I'm a player who does get frustrated. There's times where I've gotten mad at teammates, which is unfair to them, right? But it's just be aware that sometimes you don't have the right team composition that has enough firepower to beat the enemy. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're going to lose the game. It just means you might not get all 3 points, which all 3 points are never the objective. The objective is to win the game. Let's make sure we remember that because it's easy to forget. So this is me just playing LOS from the rocket ult, making sure that it doesn't damage me. I'm telling my team the same thing. Hey, play LOS, play LOS. It's only a few more seconds. All right, it's down. I'm going in. Calm in my jump. Try to jump onto point. Miss my stun. I'm just trying to get on the cart here, though. I want to just get the cart moving again. We want to get it a little bit further, just to give us a little bit more room to play with if we make mistakes on defense. So they get another Cloak and Dagger ult. They get a Groot ult. I try to bubble my team. The bubble only takes a finite amount, so I don't get that much value. And then here I am in Monstro trying to get something. But as you can see, now we just don't have the damage. My team is falling apart. Nothing's really happening, right? We're in overtime. This is okay. I'm grabbing someone. I'm just trying to stay on the cart. We tried our best. That's okay. That's a good round. We move to the next one. So what do we do here? Start the round here. Funny enough, we have a really bad first fight, but I think it's fair to show this. So 2 of our players were switching. One was a support, was switching to Strange here, and the other on Magneto was switching to support. They weren't comfortable on the roles. They didn't communicate it fast enough. That's one thing as well. If this isn't a communication guide, but just make sure you communicate with your teammates, even if it's through text chat. Let them know, hey, I'm on a role I'm comfortable with. I would like to play this. Sometimes asking is the easiest way. So here you just see, I'm like, what are we doing, guys? And they're like, okay, we're just going to Strange Portal on the point. I'm like, all right, that works. I'm going to try to frontline here, but it's going to be kind of hard with Groot. Here I am trying to jump in. He gets the nice pull on Groot. We get a little bit of damage, but just against the Loki, it's just not going to happen. Too many heals. Here I am just trying to get on the cart and disrupt, break the stones if I can. Someone dies, have to back up. Typical gameplay pattern. I'll also do some more VOD reviews if I get a game that is unorthodox, or maybe I should actually talk about like a close loss. If I have a game that's like, I feel like I played well during a loss, I'll actually try to show that because sometimes you can learn more from a loss than you ever will a win. So you can see here, we're kind of just getting clapped. And I think this is where our team had a little bit of toxicity towards the Warlock. Like, bro, get the fuck off Warlock. Like, that just happens, right? What can I do? Hey, team, like, it's okay. We just gotta lock back in. We can win this. Get on the cart here. We're trying our best to fight. But, sadly, Fantastic dies. I die. We just take a death there. That's a death on the tally. It's okay. So from this point forward, I tell my team we're leaving. Hey, guys, we gotta play. We have to play perfect here. We need to lock this down. We're the better players. It doesn't matter what characters we're playing. Let's just play the best we can and let's win this game. You'll notice I do that sometimes too. It's like throwing your bomb and jumping backwards just so you give yourself a little bit of a movement ability. Doesn't always give you the most movement, but it can be helpful. So here we are just trying to get out of the point. They have a really strong position on us right now, so we're just going to try to break through this. I am just tired of sitting in the main, so I say, hey, I'm going right here. I'm going right. The cart's still pushing. I'm just trying to punch and make noise, jump in, dive, throw my shield, and just try to disrupt. Trying to stun the support every time I see him. Loki's a hard character to stun, though, because of all the clones, but if you see him, that stun can be very helpful. So I get stunned here, but luckily I have heals. We have Cloak and Dagger ult as well. So we kind of get saved by the bell. I'm trying to just disrupt these two guys in the back line because they're separated from their team. And then I hear the Star-Lord ult. And you'll see once the Star-Lord ult, I'm like, I'll let him deal with the rocket. I'm going to go help my team. Just start trying to break stones for them. Do anything to help them because I know how much of a nuisance Loki is. I'm low HP again. Transform into Monster Hulk. Using Monster Hulk a lot of this gameplay to just save myself, and I want y'all to be aware of that as well. It is okay to Monster Hulk just to save yourself, just to stop the DMAC if you feel like it's the best play. Sometimes it might not be the best play. It's okay. You live and you learn. Every game is about improving.
Get that vehicle moving again.
So I'm actually going to pause this here because this is where we noticed that they had an AFK. Right? So the rest of this fight is just a stalemate because it's a 5v6, right? But until this point, we've played almost perfect rivals with the team, right? This guy was on Magic. They were here the first round. Something happened where they DC'd here. So just making you guys aware of that. What I will do next video, we'll kind of dive deeper into Hulk gameplay loop. I'll try to do like a live commentary of me in a Grandmaster game. But in the meantime, please let me know in the comments what else you would like to learn about Hulk in general. The next guide that I will be providing will be either Magneto or Penny Parker. I feel like both these characters are really good and I have a really strong understanding on them. So for now, just enjoy the video. Please have a fantastic day and see you in the next one. Cheers.